Hey friends, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm setting up my husband's bullet journal for February, and he decided he wanted an IT crowd theme this time around. So I've done my best. If you're not familiar with the IT crowd, it's a British comedy TV show from the 2000s, and it's actually a show I had never heard of before Jason, my husband, introduced it to me. And it centers on three main characters in the IT department. There's Roy and Moss, who are both IT professionals, and then there's Jen, who has been hired to be the relationship manager of the IT department. And it's just a funny, ridiculous British comedy. And we've been rewatching it recently because I've only ever seen the show once, so it's kind of fun to do a theme based on the show. The introduction of the show has pixelated versions of the characters, so for the cover page, I decided to try to recreate those pixelated versions of the characters. So I'm starting off by drawing Roy. These pixelated drawings take so long to do just because you have to draw so many tiny lines, and I use a ruler for the vast majority of them to make sure that everything looks nice and crisp, and to try to keep 90-degree angles everywhere so that it looks accurate to a pixelated drawing. But boy, oh boy, does it take a long time, and I was on a bit of a time crunch on the day I was filming this video, so I was really trying to do this in the most efficient way possible. For the colors, I'm using both Crayola Super Tips and my Tombow dual brush pens, just depending on what color I need. I also used a touch of white gel pen for Moss's white socks and for the white bottoms of Roy's shoes. As always, all of the supplies I'm using will be linked in the description box down below. Next, I'm drawing Jen in her professional skirt suit and her ever-present heels. And then moving on to Moss, who is a tall, lanky, stereotypical nerdy guy. Moss is definitely my favorite character on IT Crowd. He just has so many hilarious moments. Now that the cover page is done, I'm moving on to the monthly spread. As I've explained before, my husband uses his monthly spread for all of his planning. So this is where he will write out his entire schedule and appointments, any really important deadlines and tasks. So I try to give him a relatively large calendar so he has space for everything that he has to keep track of. I also generally try to keep it pretty simple so that it's not too distracting when he's using it. I did the same style of February header, and then along the right margin, I decided to quote probably my favorite moment of the show. So I wrote out, "This, Jen, is the internet." And then I drew the internet. If you didn't know, that's what the internet looks like. Next, I'm moving on to the invoicing spread and the first notes page. This is exactly the same as every other setup I've done for months and months, so if you've watched these videos before, I will be repeating myself, but if you've never watched one of my husband's bullet journal setups before, the invoicing spread is just a place for him to keep track of all of his different clients and who he's invoiced, who he's been paid by throughout the month, because he is a freelancer. And then the notes pages are just pages he uses throughout the month to jot down quick things if he's in a session, if he's working on a show, doing sound design and needs to keep track of certain notes from the music director, or he needs to keep track of a specific moment in the script that needs attention. Whatever it is, he uses as many pages as he needs throughout the month to jot down notes as he goes, essentially using the bullet journaling rapid logging system where I'll just quickly log down anything that comes up throughout the days. And for just a little something extra, I decided to use my red Tombow to make some red glowing lights. And then on the notes page, I decided to put Jason's favorite all-time quote from IT Crowd, which is, "Did you try turning it off and on again?" By the way, if you're ever having an issue with technology in your life, I highly recommend sticking to this mantra of trying to turn it off and on again before you freak out. 99% of the time, it solves the issue, and it's something that comes up over and over and over again in the IT department on the show. So as you can see, this one's pretty quick and simple, nothing too extravagant. And I'm really glad that I have been doing both my own setups and my husband's setups and recording them for all of you to see, because I think it's really important to see how polar opposite my bullet journal is from my husband's bullet journal. We use different spreads, we use our bullet journals in different ways, but we both rely on our bullet journals every single day to keep us organized, to keep us on track. And we both enjoy the more artistic personalization side of it. And I just think that's kind of great to see, especially if you're newer to bullet journals, to see that yes, you can go all out. You can create a watercolor painting for your cover page, but you can also quickly sketch something out with markers, or you can go completely simple and not add any art. You can do weekly spreads if that's your jam, and if not, you can just use your monthly and jot things down as you go as needed. Bullet journaling is so individualized. It's going to look different for every single person. I know I say this a lot, but I just think it's important to remember that bullet journals are so personal, and it's okay for yours to not look like anyone else's, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's always a fun challenge for me to try to bring my husband's interests and vision to life in a style that's really different from my own. So I hope you enjoyed this super quick setup. If you haven't seen my February plan with me yet, I will link it for you so you can check it out. And I want to take a quick moment to thank my patrons for their support. Extra special thanks to our newest patrons, Rachel, Kirsten, Jazz, Kristen, Aurélie, Joy, and Rise. Welcome all of you to the squad. I'm so excited to have you. If you at home are interested in joining the squad, check out the link in the card or in the description box down below. And if you're looking for something else to watch, I recommend you check out this video or this video. Thanks for watching. Bye, friends.